February 20th, 2019. Two deer right by the greenhouse. See if we can get them on camera. Ah, yes, the Virginia whitetails. Just thought I'd share. Hi folks, Carlton from the Farmacy Seeds Network. It's February 20th, 2019. We're getting a little bit of snowstorm through here. It's only supposed to be a couple inches. But I saw a video from Green Dream Project. It was actually their response to my video about reasons why you farm, garden, or homestead, and they mentioned a few things in there that it got me kind of excited and made me decide I have to do another video. They talked about the Permaculture Courses, which I have not officially taken those, but I've taken them online in a YouTube video form. Excellent information if you haven't seen them. Well worth checking out. Jeff Lawton and Bill Mollison, excellent instructors, very knowledgeable people, and they go over every environment, everything from dams to permaculture layout to key points to water to you name it. Excellent stuff. But I want to dial in a little bit and talk about carbon sequestration. So let's go in the greenhouse and we'll talk. Okay, so let's talk about carbon sequestration. I hear a lot of people talking about building soils, and building soils is an excellent practice. There are lots of methods and techniques to do that, and it's a good goal to have. But I don't think we can really discuss building soils effectively unless we discuss the interaction between plants and soils, and how truly healthy plants can actually build soils at a phenomenal rate. You would be very surprised. I'll try and dig up a clip of some soil that I've been building, both with Foliar Feeds and also appropriate mulches and biology. There's a few pieces that kind of need to fit together to do that. October 17th, 2018. Well, we haven't had our final frost yet, but we're supposed to tomorrow night or the night after, probably the night after. But I've been cleaning up for the season, getting ready for next year's growing season, putting things to bed for the winter. I came through and mowed the dwarf blue jewel sweet corn out of what was the garlic patch here before. So this was garlic 2017 to 2018, and then immediately replanted with dwarf blue jewel sweet corn to keep the photosynthetic process going. This was layered with between 6 and 8 inches of mulch, leaf mulch, last fall when the garlic was planted. I'll try and slip a shot of that in here. And none of that mulch was removed. That mulch all broke down and cooked in. And so right here, where my foot is basically the edge of that area. And so everything below that was not mulched, and above that was. And if you look at the difference here, you can see how much darker the soil is here where everything was mulched. And you can see worm castings sitting on top. And let's see, we'll just take a stick and dig in here a little bit. You can see how much richer this soil is here than the soil over here that was not mulched. You can see this is decent soil, but much lighter in color and not as much organic material in it. So I really just wanted to compare the difference between two pieces of the same soil under different treatment. Number one, you have to have balanced nutrition in the soil, and that doesn't just mean NPK or nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but there are a lot of other trace minerals and elements that are necessary for truly healthy plant growth and truly healthy biology in the soil. And when all those pieces are there in the right ratios, you can dramatically accelerate plant growth, plant health, soil health, and build and sequester carbon in the soil. And people, I've seen a lot of people talking about how cows and beef are part of the carbon problem. They're part of the carbon problem in conventional agriculture, where cows are kept in these feedlots which aren't building soil, and they're fed grains which are grown using oil-based products, a lot of carbon burning stuff. I'm searching for words here, but the conventional system, yeah, certainly that does put more carbon in the atmosphere. But if you do rotational grazing, you look into people like Joe Salatin and the way they do grazing and the way they do soil management, you can actually sequester a tremendous amount of carbon. Where you have your cows come in, they're in for a very short, well, any kind of cattle, but we'll say cows for example. They come in, they graze for a very short period of time, then they're moved to the next section. They only graze a certain part of that grass down. They don't go right to the ground where the plant takes a long time to recover. Instead, they're leaving, several inches of grass there. And at the same time, they're stomping it down. Their manure is laying in there. And so you get biology of a ruminant animal, the manure to provide the nutrition, and you get a pruning back of the top of the grazed pasture. Well, when you prune the top back, that changes the balance of cytokines and auxins in the plant. Cytokines are basically rooting hormones, and auxins are basically shoot, flower, and fruit hormones. And so when you graze off the top, you actually tip that balance back in favor of cytokines and stimulate root growth. And so those roots go down and they interact with that biology, and that accelerates that whole process. Another thing you can do that has tremendous benefits is foliar feeds. Targeted foliar feeds are one of the fastest ways to address nutritional deficiencies. And not only does it address nutritional deficiencies, it improves photosynthesis tremendous amounts, in some cases up to 3,000%, which improves the amount of carbon that a plant produces. Now when a plant has excess sugars and carbons, it doesn't just hold on to those, it sends them down into the soil and feeds the soil microbes. And so this is one way you can really accelerate the growth of your plants, the yield and productivity, recovery of soils, and carbon sequestration. And of course, once you sequester that carbon holds on to water really well. So if you have lots of carbon in your soil, high carbon content, your soil is able to hold more water, and of course that will foster and maintain better biology and better soil balance. So I just kind of wanted to kind of bring some of these pieces together from a general concept idea. There's a guy named John Kemp who founded a company called Advancing Eco-Agriculture. I know sometimes I sound like a walking advertisement, but I have to say, I've listened to pretty much everything that those guys put out. They are leading, cutting edge of soil agronomy and soil science and plant health. And they have some excellent educational information. You should check out their webinar. I think it's regenerativeagriculture.com or the regenerativeagriculturepodcast.com. I'll dig up the link and put it in the description. And also they're on YouTube. And if you haven't at least seen their plant health pyramid video, I'll put a link in the description of this video. You really need to check it out. You really need to understand the different levels of plant health and how that affects disease resistance, productivity, growth, soil building, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, just wanted to do a short video to kind of tie these concepts together and kind of help people expand their minds and their knowledge base. As a farmer, homesteader, or a gardener, I think it's really important to understand how the plant soil system works and to understand that science. If you don't understand that science, you're shooting in the dark and your chances of hitting the target are pretty slim. So with that, thanks for watching the Farmacy Seeds Network. I hope you'll like and subscribe if you want to like and subscribe. Lots more information to come, lots more cool projects to come. I'm only getting started. Thanks for watching.